In this video, I will show you how I trained my management team in order to become better managers. Hi, I'm Mark. Last year, my business did $14 million in revenue. And to do that, I need a really good management team. So today, I'm going to break down the 4 conversations that I teach my managers to have with their teams in order to increase their effectiveness. Let's get into it. So these are the 4 must-have conversations. If I break down all the conversations I have that had the most impact whenever I'm in the company, working and talking and communicating, collaborating, it's these 4 because they drive performance, they drive improvement, and it's really great to also give lots of recognition, which I'll go through. So the first conversation that we must have is the "you're doing really great" conversation. Whether it's a one-on-one setting, you also want to be doing it in public as much as possible. So one-to-many, where it has the most impact. So if somebody's doing a really great job that you're happy with, give them a high five, tell them they're doing a really good job, because it's going to help them feel recognized. It's going to help them become more motivated to do more for you because you're recognizing that they're doing some excellent work. This is just recognition. A lot of managers I speak to are really great at identifying everything wrong, but they're really bad at identifying what this person or people are doing really great in. So it's really important to have these conversations. If you're not someone who likes to communicate words, you can do physical, right? You can give them high fives. You can buy people gifts. So these are just different ways to recognize people in your language. So that's the very first conversation. And the next conversation is good, but not great. So this is where you need to give feedback in order for someone to improve, but you have to make it very clear. If you've ever heard of the sandwich technique, where you give a compliment or say something nice, and then you put a bit of feedback in the middle that's a bit negative, and then a bit of nice compliment or positive feedback at the end to sandwich the negative feedback, you're going to dilute the message. So you just have to be really clear. And this is done in a one-to-one setting. And you just say, hey, this is good, but it's not great. It's not meeting standards of this type of level. And you set your expectations high because people will typically elevate themselves to the level of expectation. And you want to be very upfront, very honest, and just say, hey, it's good, but it's not great. Here's what I need. Here is the delta between good and great. And here's what I need for you to close the gap. Hey, I just wanted to take a moment to pause the video and let you know that I'm relatively early in my YouTube journey, and I would really appreciate it that if you like the content, please give it a like and subscribe. All right, that's it. Back to the video. Okay, so that's the second conversation. Now, the third conversation is your job is on the line. So you've probably gone through multiple iterations of good but not great with this person, and it's now time to move or escalate it to, hey, your job's on the line. Why? Because they're not improving. They're not getting better. You've had conversations, you've supported them, you've coached them, you've mentored them, but they're not getting any better. Your job's on the line. It's really good to make that clear, because if you're thinking that, better to be honest. So they know that they're at a critical standpoint, that if they don't improve, then it's going to get a lot more serious. And if this conversation is had, then they will either start to ascend and improve, or they're going to stay the same, leave, or get worse. And that's where the fourth conversation comes in, is if you've gone through the first 1, 2, and 3 conversations, sometimes they don't even start at 1. They're not doing anything great, but they start here. And then by the time you get here, it's time to part ways. That is the fourth must-have conversation that you need to have. And why it's good to go up and down these number of conversations is because when you get here, you've already had multiple conversations with this person, and it's not news to them that they haven't been doing so well, right? Because you've been upfront, you've been honest, and things are not improving. The worst possible thing you could do is never have these conversations, but when they're not performing and you tell them that it's time to part ways, they are completely shocked by the news because you never told them what to improve before. So it's better to basically skip all the emotions that might come from the shock of receiving news like this without having prior conversations beforehand. So these are the 4 must-have conversations that you need to have with your team. And even if someone has been at the company for a long time, you can start, and you've never done this before, you can start. Hey, it's good, but it's not great. Here's what I expect. And you can start there. And for everyone who's doing super great in your team, just recognize them somehow. Written form, verbal, buying a gift, high five, physical, whatever it is, just do it continuously because people need to be recognized. That is an important part of leadership and being a manager. You need to also manage high performers and give them recognition. And then the other three conversations are if things need to be improved. And you need to be sure to be very, very clear what they have to improve. You can't just say, hey, great. You say, great work on X. I really loved how you did X, and be very clear and specific about what you thought was good. And the same applies to the other conversations. This is good, but not great. Here's what you need to improve specifically. Do you know how? If not, maybe I can show you. Hey, your job is on the line. It's getting critical now. Things are getting worse. It's getting very, very important for us to address this. Here's what I need to improve. You might have a timeline on things like that. And then when the time comes to it, things aren't getting better. It's time to part ways. And this is a good thing. Why? Because you're essentially not wasting your time anymore, and you're not wasting their time. They may not be performing in your company, but they can be performing somewhere else. And you're helping their career by not wasting their time anymore because things are just not getting better, and it's better for both parties. So these are the 4 must-have conversations I train my managers to have with their team. Thank you.